It's still the same video, this is just part 2. It's not 2 videos, I like to think of it as one, it's broken in half, but now I'm going to talk more about the inconsistencies. And if you're clicking on this without seeing the first one, watch the first one. Still with the Blazers, I want you to see 2 things. Look at Odin's close rating in comparison to Derek Fisher's. I'll show some stats for that. And look at Odin's offensive rebound rating in comparison to Aldridge. You know, Aldridge averaged like 0.1 in more than 15 more minutes. So the 10-point advantage doesn't make much sense to me. Flash and Wallace's dunk rating, that 96 to me isn't that bad. You're gonna see worse, but really, I didn't go through the Hornets that much. Alexander's speed rating jumps out at me because, to me, if a guy has one of the top 5 times in the history of the combine, and I know it's only been about 10 years, but that's like all the major draft picks usually. Some skip it, but most of them are there for the last 10 years, and he only has a 79. He had a top 5 time. Then Mbah's close rating, I'm going to flash some stats. He had, you know, pretty decent, slightly above average stats inside, and he got a 69, I think that is. And then another rating that looks like it was from a Ouija board. Damon Jones' off the dribble rating, he has a 78, and that guy never shoots off the dribble. He just camps out in the corner. And looking at Noah's speed in comparison to Howard's doesn't make much sense. It just seems like centers can't get speed. Why does Noah have speed? And look at how in shape the Bulls are. You know, rewind that for yourself and see what's with that. And then I don't have that much of an issue with James's ratings. His block in comparison to Garcia doesn't make sense. But how can he have only 1 point less than Kobe in shooting in traffic when people are happy to give James a shot usually, and you'll sit on the bench if you let Kobe shoot? But then what's with Kobe's close rating? And why is it higher than his mid-range rating when, you know, he shouldn't have a 92 in close? That's too high for somebody who basically just shoots all game. I mean, 25% of his shots are inside, 75% outside. You know, I'm looking over, flipping through the league, and I still have a problem with James's mid-range rating. I mean, if they're gonna go by 82games.com, you gotta lower that. Maybe he'll improve. I mean, he'll probably improve that. I think Delonte West, he can't have a defensive rating in the 70s. And if you watch him play, Cavaliers fans know what I'm talking about. You can't have 53 and 54 in post rating. I mean, other than James's ISOing himself, that was like all their offense. And then Garnett, there's 2 big men that should have defensive ratings in on-ball defense in the 80s. It's Glenn Davis and Garnett. Glenn Davis has a 53. I haven't seen anybody defend the pick and roll as well as maybe him, Verjao, Garnett. There's maybe about 10 guys that do it well enough to justify a high on-ball defense. But 53? And then they give him a low speed rating. I know he's fat, but if this guy was a defensive end in the NFL, he'd be chasing down some of the fastest quarterbacks in the league. He's fast. He shouldn't be that slow. Leon Powell has one of those close ratings that doesn't make sense because he's a garbage man. The Celtics are just a horribly rated team. How is Garnett's close rating that much higher than his mid-range rating when he's a shooter? He's predominantly a shooter. You know, if they're going to go by 82games.com, we're going to be in for a heck of a treat if they really go by it, because right now, this seems like it's completely made up. Then you have great athletes, low speed ratings, you know, big time athletes, Marvin Williams, Daryl Arthur. It's kind of typical. If you're a power forward or you're big, except for Beasley, and I think that's because maybe NBADraft.net had him listed as a small forward, so they gave him a decent speed rating. None of the other power forwards, even the ones that are really fast, could get them. Then another overrated star, all of them are overrated, Wade's 3-point shooting. And then what's this offensive awareness rating? I don't understand what it is. I try to break it down. Zach Randolph has an 89 in offensive awareness. The guy's like, he's known as being a black hole when he plays. And then Brevin Knight has an 82. If it's an IQ rating, Brevin Knight has to have a higher rating than Zach Randolph by, 15 points. Just my opinion. I could be wrong. And now I'm just messing with going back to Wade. He's starting to shoot well. His mid-range rating isn't that bad, but his three-point rating shouldn't be that high because people can just toss up anything with his shooting traffic rating, and that's like a slider issue. That shooting traffic is just crazy. You might as well just leave him out because it's not gonna make much difference unless you block his shot. But that's how they roll. And I'm looking at some of the dunk ratings, and there's Francisco Garcia. I should flash his block rating. That's kind of messed up. I mean, you go up and down the league, and you'll get sick of it. Like, look at the amount of dunks OJ Mayo had. He has a 79 in dunking. And then you compare him to, like, Ray Allen, Tony Allen, guys that barely dunked, and they have, like, higher ratings than him, or ratings that are close. But the worst, and this might be the worst rating in the game, is Jamal Crawford's dunk rating, because he never dunks. And that should be like a prerequisite for having a dunk rating in the 80s. You have to dunk like at least 20 times a year, or that just doesn't count. But anyway, that was just a quick run through because I really don't have time, and it's one of those things where if I show about 10 inconsistencies flipping through a few teams, I think you can get the picture of what's wrong. A lot of the ratings are just baseless. They're not based on anything. Glenn Davis, you could look up his scouting report. He was known as somebody that was fast. If they see a fat guy, they make him slow. They're just not based on anything. They're what I call like Ouija board ratings. Where the insider sat there and summoned the demon, and the demon didn't really know basketball. It would have been all right if he summoned some demons that knew basketball, but and then not to say he's that bad. He just, if you don't know, base it on something, do some research. There's a whole bunch of stuff out there. I don't even think this partnership with 82games.com to me wasn't even necessary. But anyway, I'm glad they have it because evidently they couldn't get it right, and I just wanted to go through a run through. So what's wrong with the ratings? A lot of it's up for debate, but a lot of it's just pure, obvious, inconsistent, baseless. And hopefully I'll get it right. I'm gonna play NBA 2K10. Whether I go out and buy it, I don't know. But eventually I'll get around to playing it. We'll see what happens. Anyway, it's Kanye Rock. This is a quick video once I really got down to it. That's fine. So that's it. Kanye Rock, Mr. Know-It-All, aka alias. I keep kicking my chest. Good night.